Dari Nowkhah joining us, the face of the SEC network. Dari, Bobby Petrino back at the helm, at least on an interim basis. Thoughts from afar?
Let's see how it goes, man. I mean, I don't know, Bo. The second he was hired as the first of all, good to talk to you guys. But the second he was brought on as offensive coordinator, I mean, my first thought was, all right, he's next, right? I mean, I get it. I understand the passion that a lot of Razorback fans have for him. Obviously, I understand that. And he's had a lot of success as a head coach, and he's got it. You know, he's at a place now where he had a lot of success previously as a head coach. So, you know, I don't know. I'm curious to see what it looks like. I'm curious to see how the defense looks, obviously, with all the changes on that side of the football. But it won't be an easy test against Tennessee. That's for sure. But I'm certainly intrigued. I'm intrigued by what this team looks like with him in charge.
Chances Arkansas runs the table, Dari. Why don't we laugh? I wanted to keep a straight face. I wanted to leave it up for discussion.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same chance as the chance that Dr. Stephen Shin's name will never again be uttered in the state of Oklahoma. How's that?
Okay.
Well, all right. Now,
there you go.
All right. What are the chances they beat Tennessee?
What do you want, the scale of 0 to 100?
Well,
I mean, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that?
Look, this is a team that was 2 fumbles away, from having one loss, not 3. That does now. They did fumble and all that, and it's been a total, sort of snowball in the wrong direction. So now you got to reset. You draw the line in the scorecard, right? Like, how are we going to play the rest of the round? But no, legitimately, can they show up and give them a contest?
Well, listen, when I draw a line on my scorecard, that means I'm not keeping score the rest of the
Yeah, I'm with you there.
It doesn't work. Yeah. It doesn't get any better.
Right. Hopefully, it never gets better. Let's. How about I go 10% chance Arkansas beats them?
Okay.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, saying there's a chance. Hey, there are some big games in the SEC this week. And by the way, you look up, if you just look at the standings, Ole Miss leading the SEC, ranked 4th in the country. How's this shake out? All right. I mean, this week, Texas is out of the top 25. Is Arch still a Heisman candidate? What is in this line in the OU game, by the way, OU Texas is pretty tight.
Well, okay, hang on a second now. See, now I got to change everything. If Arch is still a Heisman candidate, I want to change my vote to 90% chance Arkansas beats Tennessee. I'm going to go 90%. No, absolutely not. No, he's not, and frankly, I don't think Texas is that good. I mean, I just don't think they're very good. They're a disaster on the offensive line. They're not quite a disaster, but maybe just shy of that at quarterback. They're banged up at running back. They're banged up at wide receiver. The one side of the ball we thought was really good got torn up by Florida. That was their defense. I don't know what to think of them, honestly. This is a game Oklahoma should win. I certainly think so. But as far as the league shakes out, man, I don't know. But, man, oh, man, is this fun. I think Alabama gets beat at Missouri. I think Missouri's legit, and here they are picked 12th in the preseason. So, you guys agree? You think Alabama goes down a bit?
Yeah, I think Missouri beats them up there. Hey, let me ask you this. Florida beating Texas. You talked about that. Can Florida give A&M a run for their money? I mean, is Florida back, or was that just kind of an aberration there? What do you think?
I mean, I think they're closer to back than it being an aberration. I think that they're really good. They can be. Let me say it that way. They can be really good. But these are the situations on the road at night where they become completely and utterly undisciplined, and they'll commit stupid penalties, and they won't get that guy off the field in time before the snap, or whatever it might be. We've seen situations where somebody spits on somebody, although that was at home. But no, this is the test, right? So we saw their offense kind of explode. They were able to run the football. DJ looked good. Dallas Wilson's a freak show as a freshman at wide receiver. Their defense is solid. They have no concerns on that side of the ball. So the defense keeps them in the game. The offense plays, at a pretty good clip compared, even anywhere near what they played the other day. I think they've got a shot. That's what's so frustrating, I think, to Florida fans. And, and this, Billy Napier's still around. Why? Because there are times that they don't ever quit playing for the guy. And there are times that it just all comes together and you're like, see, this is what it could be. And I think that's what they got Saturday. But the problem is it usually doesn't last 2 games in a row. And so let's see what happens. I'm really intrigued by that game Saturday night.
Dari, how good's OU? You got the Mateer injury situation, the quarterback who is a Heisman candidate.
Yeah.
How's that going to play out, and how good's OU, and how do they fare in this game?
Defensively, they're as good as anybody in the country. And their front seven is unquestionably the best in the country. Their secondary has some ups and downs, but what that front seven does is nobody in the country is doing it. So I think that they're really, really good there. Special teams is again probably top 5 or 10 in the country, and certainly I think the best in the SEC. So they've got a chance there with John Mateer. I think that they're an SEC championship caliber team. Not saying they'll win that, but I think that they're good enough to be in that same conversation. But there are probably 5 other teams in that same exact conversation. So I think they're right there they can be right there anyway with Bama, Missouri, A&M, Georgia. You go down that Ole Miss, you go down that list. I think that they're in that company as long as they have a healthy John Mateer playing and are able to protect him. Which has been up and down in its own right. So everybody's got a flaw in this league. They certainly have their own on the offensive line, but they're so good on defense and special teams, I think they've got a chance.
Dari, when you look at the big rivalry games in college football, I'm not so sure Oklahoma and Texas year after year is not the hardest one to predict. I mean, there have been awful teams beat good teams, and it's just hard to handicap. You're pretty close to it. What makes it that way?
Oh, well, Chuck, I do think you could say the same about Ohio State, Michigan. Right? I mean, how many years in a row has Michigan beat Ohio State? You wouldn't, and that followed a long stretch by Ohio State beat Michigan. But many times, the team that wins that game isn't as good as the team that they beat, and I think that's just kind of the case here. It seems like a game where wild things happen. The crowd is certainly always a factor. These are 2 teams full of guys that know one another. Like, these dudes, 90% of them know guys on the other side because they were recruited by the same 2 schools. They played together in high school. So many Texas kids on Oklahoma's roster. It just sets up for just kind of really funky things to happen. Chuck, I don't really know why, but I do think we sometimes see this in rivalry games. Yeah.
Hey, good stuff, man. We ran you right into the break with that
Thanks,
one.
Dari.
Appreciate you coming on, as always. Have a great show today. We'll be watching you. Figure out what kind of brand new suit you're going to have on Saturday.
Yeah, right.
Dari Nowkhah.
It'll be a rerun. I'll see you guys.
Face of the SEC Network. Always great to come on with us. A good look at the big Red River game coming up this weekend. A bunch of really close-looking SEC games.